in that scenario, I looked into the market and I found that there were some related WebGL products, since our product was also a WebGL product, a 3D product. Okay. So then I found there is a market for flipbooks. Okay. There were people finding those flipbooks handy to display their courses and all in a 3D format, which we were already doing on the product which failed. Okay. Even though the failure of the initial product, okay, it was quite successful when we converted it to a market-centric product. Okay, so when we converted to the flipbook thing. Okay, so I released it as a JavaScript plugin, basically, no platform, anything like that, and it was doing good. Okay, we used some middle market basis things. Okay, it helped us. It helped to market the whole thing, and we didn't know anything about marketing. We were just a developer, right? So being a developer, only thing I know about is developing. So going to the marketplace, the jQuery marketplace is totally a developer-centric marketplace, right? So the market has a little volume. Then what happened actually is, again watching the market, we saw that the majority of the customers or the people are using what? They are using WordPress. So WordPress, our entry was more like switching to the correct market thing. Okay. Initially, as a developer, I didn't see anything in WordPress. Okay, I was not so fancy. Okay, see, as a developer, we don't see that there is lots of things or to do in WordPress. But okay, in WordPress, the market is huge. As a business, if you are going from a developer point to a market with our product, then we have to see it as a business. Then the business always thrives based on the market. That's what our understanding is. So we had to switch to WordPress. Then we built a plugin for that is we ported it to WordPress. Since then, okay, in 6 months' time, after we launched the jQuery plugin, okay, we launched this WordPress plugin, okay, and then it grew like this. It became this big plugin, okay. There were competitors, okay, but we learned from them how they were doing. It's a learning process, and still we are learning, okay. So far, yeah, that's the journey of why it came to WordPress, and the WordPress has been giving us a great platform. It's growing, it's thriving. The customers are loving it, and it gives a good feedback to us to keep moving forward. Yeah, that's basically the deal.
Thank you for sharing. So to paraphrase what you said, you started with the JavaScript plugin, and then later on you decided that there's an opportunity in WordPress, but you didn't find any solutions, and then you build in WordPress. Okay, thank you. Coming to Asif, please tell us your journey. How did you get into WordPress? And your journey has been very long as well, a lot of products as well. So please walk us through that journey.
So good evening, everyone. For me, I feel like my story is closely related to a lot of you. I started programming very early when I was in grade 8. That's the first time I started to code. Back in 2004, I was trying to make a website. The only available tool was, if you do not know a lot of coding, I did not know a lot of coding, just very basic HTML and C# and those kind of things. So I was making a website with Yahoo GeoCities, and there was like a Blogspot. Then I discovered WordPress through one of the posts Matt made. He just he started WordPress. So I discovered WordPress, and that was like a European moment for me. And with WordPress, making website was so easy. So I got into WordPress. We started building a lot of websites. At the beginning, it was like creating solutions with WordPress and flipping those. So my first company, AR.com, was just using WordPress in terms of building their infrastructures. Then after I finished my university back in 2009, then I started to attend like WordCamps. So my first WordCamp was very strange. My first WordCamp was WordCamp Melbourne, and I was a speaker. Then I attended, I was a speaker in, I think like WordCamp Boston back in 2010 or something. So I have attended over 100 WordCamps. I have spoken to in like 30 or plus WordCamps already. And back in 2011, I started the brand, WP Developer, our product brand. And WP Developer took some time to take off. When Elementor started to gain more traction, we built a plugin for Elementor. It's called Essential Add-on for Elementor. Many of you probably know the name. Essential Add-on for Elementor right now have like more than 2.5 million active users. So my journey with WordPress is over like 21 years old. By this time, I did a lot of like different things as well. I moved into US. I started to invest in US tech ecosystem. So I was lucky to invest in Facebook in their Series C. I invested in a few other companies in US. I invested also in other tech companies in Bangladesh as well. I started to grow in SaaS as well. I was one of the very vocal about SaaS in WordPress. Our first SaaS was Easy.jobs. Though it's an AI-based recruitment tool, but it's completely interactive WordPress. So if you want to have like career page in WordPress, if you want to give people options to apply for job, you can do that with Easy.jobs. Then we will launch like template fees, like a template cloud for WordPress. And just recently, last year, we launched like xCloud. So it's been very long time. We did a lot of different things. I'm sure like I made a lot of mistakes, but ultimately WordPress is kind of thing that actually gave us a lot of opportunity to try on. And everyone's story is unique, but I feel very blessed that I took the decision in 2004 and got into WordPress, and still for 21 years I'm still in WordPress. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that experience. I was talking with some people today and trying to understand what we can do to make most out of this conversation. And a lot of people want to know about how we are building and marketing our product. Because Nepal has a lot of companies and a lot of developers. And one of the things a lot of people want to understand is building is one part, right? But how do you market your product after you have built it? So I would like to start that with Ashif. When you were building, and you have built a lot of products, when you do marketing, where do you start? And how it has changed in the year that you have been in WordPress?
Obviously, a lot of things has changed, but I think like people will actually agree with me. Most of the product in WordPress are developer-centric. So they are developer-focused and done by solo entrepreneur or like a young entrepreneur, but who are developer as well. So like a lot of people will talk about the importance of marketing, ads, or social media, or even content. So what I would say, it doesn't matter like if you are like a content guy, you understand blogging or not. If you're building something, you need to start talk about it. So like don't wait 2 months to build a product and complete to certain phase. If you're thinking about something, share with your community. Go in like LinkedIn, talk about it, that I am building this. Go to like Instagram or like even Twitter. Twitter has very good community for WordPress. We start talking about it. I have a background of blogging, so I know how to write. I know how to write like SEO friendly content. So that was our plus point from the beginning. So whatever product we have, we always had a very good like content calendar from the beginning. How much content we want to do, what kind of content we want to do, what kind of keyword we want to actually do. So through the journey of all of our product, our content plan was like very simple. And we don't make any content for the search engine. We make content for the audience, our users. So we want to solve their problem. So if they are self-serving, if they are using any of our product, we want them to be able to do what they want to do just by using those blogs, the documentations and everything. And when you talk about like someone who has a semi-successful product, he has a team, now he's struggling to market. I do not advise people just like looking into some another brand and start media buying, start having like social presence or something. You need to understand your user base. For some product, maybe the community is important, so you need to start building a community around it. For some product is maybe LinkedIn, your user are probably LinkedIn, you need to interact in there. For some product, maybe it's hard to come up with some fast ambassador, what actually helps some of the products. So maybe you need to spend money. So it's not always same. But the fast advice I will give them to, like you need to start talk about it. It doesn't need to be very like polished content. It just could be one mock-up and just think I'm building this and that, and reach out to your known people. So you should reach out to your friends, you should reach out to the community people or influencers you know, and probably they will be actually able to give you some heads up and like interact more with your user. That's the beginning point.
Okay, so if you're building a product rather than building in a room and not making talking about it, what about building share with people and start getting feedback? That's what I understood from your session and what you shared. What I also want to understand here is, and after that I'll come back to Deepak, is where in WordPress a lot of products are bootstrapped. Like unlike other products where you don't get investor, you don't invest a lot of money. It's like a single founder or two people started, and because of that, there's a lot of investment into a product. And it's so important that you start getting your initial traction. Because if you're not getting initial traction, you are spending months and months just building. Then sometimes it gets very frustrating, right? And when you're building something will work, sometimes it will not work. What I want to understand from you is, you have launched many products. And many of these products have also been very successful. And some might have been struggle. Could you share a few examples of the things that you did that were able to help you get initial traction? For example, you launched EX Club, our sponsor, and from what you have shared, it was like a pretty successful campaign, and you had like initial traction was like crazy. Even the Elementor essential admin plugin, you also have like initial traction. So please help us understand what are some of the things that you did that worked very well for you to get initial traction.
So it actually depends from product to product. For Elementor, we are probably the first one to build anything in Elementor. So people ultimately wants to actually use and see like how they could do more. Now I see like it makes much more sense for us to develop something that we could use. So for most of our successful product, we are the core user. So for even xCloud, I'm like daily user of xCloud. So I'm using xCloud for making any website, for deploying anything. So if I'm using my own product, it's actually giving me different kind of like confidence to talk about and talk to people. And another thing is like when I'm building something, I would actually really reach out to my friends to see like if they could use, if they could actually make sense out of it, and reach out as many as people possible. So some people I know for developers, they're shy in like talking to people or asking around. You see like you build something that you have already done the hard work, you already developed and probably spent like months or years, if not. Like for xCloud, we developed it for almost like 4 years. We started the project back in 2020, it took like a long time. So we need to be ready, but don't wait too long. Like if I could correct myself going back, a lot of product like I would probably release it even too early. So MVP or like lead version, talk about it, get more feedback from people, and like listen to people. So that is what I will do.
Thank you for sharing, guys. So what you're saying again, this thing that you shared earlier was build something, get in the market. So to people, so initial idea would be get the initial product validation. Whether people are going to use it and try to solve the real problem that people are having. I would ask the same question to Deepak. How did you get your initial traction?
See, regarding this traffic on WordPress, traction was built based on the mistakes we did with our initial development. And see, what I say is, if you are trying to be successful with anything, you need to focus on the definition of what you are trying to achieve. Okay, a success is basically absence of failures. Okay, and when you know what are the failures, you will achieve success. Okay, when we are developing anything, we are developing a successful product, right? A code we are writing. So we just compile it, right? And it gives us error. But the final product is what? It doesn't give any error. That's the definition, right? Similarly, success is something that won't fail. That's what I define it like that. So you need to know what are the failures. You need to know where you will fail. Okay, you need to know where you will make the losses. Then you will make the profits. Okay, this is not the way to go. Okay, in marketing, if you don't know don't understand what the market is accepting and you are just trying to feed it something it is not going to eat, then it's not going to work, right? Is the thing, no? You cannot feed grass to a lion, right? Similarly, you cannot feed a jQuery plugin to normal users that are not going to code, right? So it doesn't work. And most of the people are not, I mean to say, the users are not developers. We as a developer make a big mistake of thinking that the product that we run, okay, other people will also run. It's not the same. Okay. I basically learned that any product, if it is not working in an easy manner, it won't run at all. It won't work. See, WordPress, there is something from WordPress that we need to learn is there are many other CMS, many other platforms, but why WordPress? Okay, there are other also platforms that have good development backgrounds and then all. But WordPress signed because it's literally easy to use and it's very easy to set up, right? That's the basic thing. So when you have a product, okay, and you have an audience that is going to use it, it is make it easy. And similarly, make it easy to market. Okay, in marketing, if you say too many things, see, currently I am conveying a message, but if I am telling too many things, it won't get into your head. Even if it gets into your head, there are chances it will be forgotten, right? We cannot remember everything. So marketing is be specific to the need of the person who is going to use it. Solve a solution that hits them, right? So in marketing, we see the process are different. You can go to Facebook, you can go to email marketing. We don't know which what the clients are using. Not every client is same. Developers use Slack. Okay, they go to this WordPress forums. Okay, we can go there. Normal users are not going to go there, right? Normal users will never go to forums until and unless they are having any problem, and then only they will land into a support forum, right? But before that, they are not going to use it. So where we have to go for the customers, the normal users, because at the end, not every plugin is meant for developers, right? It's meant for normal users. Like you have Learn Travel Engine, it's based for an agency, right? I have a plugin for making Flipper. It's based on more likely catered to authors or somebody who has a PDF. Okay, I need to understand what the customer needs. Then I have to market it accordingly. See, if it's a travel engine, okay, I need to connect to those sites which are using the travel things related to those sites like Flipkart and this and all. I can reach to them. That is the way of marketing. Okay, I cannot just keep displaying an ad on Facebook. It may work or it may not work. That's a mistake. Okay, once you make the mistake, you should not repeat it. That's what I say. Mistakes are natural. Okay, human is meant to earn.
Okay. So from what I understood, what you said was build something that's very, very simple to use.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because when you are building as a developer, we sometimes think that is solving a problem, but it can be complicated to use. So if you're building something very, very simple,
we try to add many things to show our expertise, and that's the one thing that will make the product very much confusing.
Okay. So that I would see more on the side of building the right product, right validation, and so on. But let's say, for example, you build the product. How did you get your, let's say, initial user? Did you have that product on WordPress, or did you do the marketing, let's say, or ads or anything like that? What get you that initial users?
So initial users, we got it from WordPress better than what we got from jQuery. Okay, that's what I meant to say. Initially, we targeted developers. That was the wrong approach. Okay. Then we learned the users are on WordPress. That's the way to go. How the people are acquiring the WordPress-based plugin, we need to understand that. What's the entry point? Okay. Based on our understanding, we found that WordPress.org, the plugin directory is the basic place where the people are searching for plugins, right? If I need a plugin for Slider, I'll just go to the plugins section on the very plugin page, right? I'll search for Slider. If I get an answer, I'll get an answer, right? But what happens is the top plugins will take the top spot and we won't get any spots, right? So we need to go to other forums, at least, or we need to talk to, like what Ashish said, we need to talk to other developers to help us reach the new customers, because most of the developers are doing it for their customers, right? So it based on the recommendation also. So that helps to gain the initial traction, initial installations. Okay, that's what we need. And after you get that, okay, you can, once you are already learning ranking on the top 10, users can see your this listing and they will just check it out. Okay, that happens later on. But at the early point, what helped us was reaching to the customers, to the developers, sometimes directly to the customers who are using it. Okay, then sometimes solving a problem on the niche problem on some like Stack Overflow, you can go there, okay, and solve a problem related to the same product, right? And you can say, I have some expertise, and this is the product. So that is also a kind of approach, and you can, it's just basically marketing is basically connecting to the customer.
Exactly. So what you're sharing to me is that one, you figure out that developer would be your right channel to market. So you build a relationship with them, you contacted them, and through that channel, because they will be building the website, you leverage that, number one. You also figure out that where are people searching about that problem. Let's say there's a problem and what problem your product is solving and where they're searching about it. For example, Stack Overflow, right? So you went there and recommended. So basically,
we learned later on that rather than searching on Google, searching on WordPress.org was working much better.
so basically my understanding would be that figure out where your customers are searching for you, right? It could be Google, it could be WordPress, or it could be, let's say, any forum, Reddit, anything, right? And try to answer that question. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Let's say, I'll come to Asif on this. Let's say, for example, if you were to build a new product now and you were to market that, what your approach would be now, especially given that a lot of things are changing now. WordPress, the way it used to be, it's not the same thing now. Like for example, in WordPress, there are a lot of plugins, there are a lot of themes. AI has come, the way SEO is done has changed. Paid ad has been expensive, right? So, if you were to launch a new product, what approach would you take?
So it's true, a lot of things has changed. But think it this way, WordPress is still very big. WordPress has global market share of 45% or more. So instead of like thinking the entire WordPress, the main thing is like what you target. So if I'm building an add-on for WooCommerce, then my strategy will be one. If I'm building an add-on for, as an example, like Gutenberg or Elementor, it is different. So if I'm building some solutions that is for one particular community or something, so my development will be a lot dependent on the community. So if I build a solution for Elementor, I want to stay very close with Elementor community and work in this way. But think about, I'm building a different solution. There is no community that exists and I'm going to release now. If I'm a newcomer in WordPress, where I do not have an existing user base, like if I have a user base, maybe I could reach out to my old users or my user from my other parties or other solutions. Or if I have clients, I could actually reach out to them that I have built this payment solution and we would like to explore or not. So that is one option. But if that is not, my approach in most of the time in development is development-centric growth. So instead of trying to push more into marketing, a lot of think it this way: WordPress is developing a WordPress plugin is a product. So product is not easy. If you are getting into product, then you have to commit at least a certain time of your life that you are going to give it to the product. As an example, if Deepak planned for a new product, it is going to be his journey for 6 months or 1 year. So you are investing money in that time. Then what will happen you do not know. So if I make a best product plan in my mind, still there is a 50-50 chance this will work or this will not. This is the struggle of a product company. In product company, you spend 1 year to develop something, then you try to sell it for maybe 6 months or 1 year. Still you do not know the result. For a service company it's different. For a service company, if they get into a project, they work for 6 months, they could bill the hour and they could get out of it. But for product it's not. So anybody coming into product, they need to have stamina that I am for a marathon, not a sprint. So you commit that time, then you listen to people. Don't do too many things at the beginning. I think the initial version of the product should be very lean, that he explained, and very simple, so people could use it. But release as soon as possible. Start listening to people. Reach out to people. Don't be shy. Then start like seeing those approach. And even right now, if you could do like few things right, like if you released in .org, as you have already explained, .org is the biggest source of installs. There could be like premium plugins as well. Like Code Canyon has a good like reputations in terms of selling like the plugins. You will get probably good users. Wherever platform you are, like when the people are installing your plugin, you need to make sure they keep it installed. They don't like uninstall. Then if they are